Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, man, as y'all coming in. Thanks a lot so I can continue to bring y'all content like this. Hello, this is Wavy with Goodfella Podcast Media coming back at you with another episode. We have here BJ Hall. He's running for the Maryland House of Delegates, District 29. How you doing?
29B, yes
29B. How you doing, BJ?
I'm good, man.
All right.
How about yourself?
Good, brother.
Hey, first off, I like them phone posits, man. I remember having them phone posits back in the day. I had the penny joints, the blue ones when they first. Then I got the Scotty ones. I thought I was that dude.
That dude, yes, sir.
Anyway.
All right. What kind of values did your family or community instill in you growing up?
Well, first off, I mean, I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. I grew up Seventh-day Adventist, so it was kind of a strict household, Christian household down south. So, as you can imagine, it's kind of like this. Honestly, that's one of the reasons why I like it. I'm from Birmingham. Right outside of Birmingham is where I was born, Bessemer, Alabama. Okay. I don't know if you listen to Gucci Mane.
Yeah, listen to Gucci.
So Gucci Mane just put out his book about episodes talking about his life, and he actually started it in Bessemer, Alabama.
Wow.
So when he talks about Bessemer, Alabama, that's actually where I was born.
Oh. Okay.
So and actually, oddly enough, we were born in the same year. So 1980, Bessemer, Alabama. So kind of in the country, but still close to Birmingham, Alabama. So I grew up kind of conservative, especially tied to the church. My dad, first elder, mom, youth leader. So a lot of our life revolved around the church. So like my values and everything came from them because they did like everything for everybody in the community because they were like the young, active couple. And they became like the auntie and uncle of the church. So all of the young, the older teens and young adults kind of looked up to them. And I saw them just doing for everybody. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We would go up to like amusement parks. It's like 8 of us in a Cordoba. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to because everybody couldn't get up there. We like, hey, we'll make it work. Right. And so that was just the way that we came up. And so it was a communal atmosphere all the time. My dad used to rent out the YWCA downtown Birmingham, and we used to go down there and hoop. Yeah. And he would pay for it, and all the guys from the church would come down there, and we played basketball on Sunday. It was just a way for us to have an outlet. It was always community first, right? You know, and the rest of the stuff would just work itself out. I think it's because my parents, they both came from large families, 8, 9 kids, you know, and they just always thought about the unit first. Right. And then growing up in a smaller church, the Seventh-day Adventist church is a real small church, especially because you know how churches are, real segregated and whatnot. So if you look at the black Seventh-day Adventist church, I know people all throughout the country based off of their affiliation with our religion. Right. And so we're a real tight-knit group. And you just that communal portion of my foundation is something that I find pride in. And then the service element, because my mom was always into something. Right. Like she worked with a couple of community outreach organizations. She was doing like the little fashion shows and everything in the community. She was doing plays and stuff just to keep activities for younger people and keeping them engaged in something that was positive because we had a whole lot of negativity going around because we came up in the crack era. I don't know how bad crack hit up here, but it was devastating down in Birmingham because we had the steel industry falling off. Then we had crack tearing up the community. It was too easy for you to find trouble. And so they tried to make sure that that me and my group of friends didn't find trouble. Right. So I grew up with like 8 dudes. Out of the 8 of us, Like, I mean, I don't like to call us hood, you know what I'm saying? But we hood adjacent,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we like between the projects in Birmingham, like my best friend, I spent half my time with my best friend's grandma and half the time with my mom.
Right.
Then some of the time when my parents split, my dad moved to Detroit, so I was living in public housing in Detroit. So public housing Detroit, public housing Birmingham. We were exposed to a lot. So you had 8 of us down in Birmingham. Out of the 8 of us, 3 of us graduated high school on time.
Okay.
2 of us actually went to college. 1 of us that went to college ended up in federal prison.
Wow.
Then you got me. You know what I'm saying? People talk about statistics. We don't talk about the positive side of that.
That's true.
And it's like we were all exposed to the same things. You know what I'm saying? We had the same positive inputs, some of the same negative inputs, and totally different outcomes. And so that kind of influenced my desire, my passion for community.
That's great.
Big ramble. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
It was just kind of all over the place, but it's like when you start talking about things that impact you, you know what I'm saying? It's like you just kind of start thinking about home, and it's a whole lot there.
It is. Home is where the heart is, man.
For sure.
So it started. It's the
Yeah,
roots,
man.
man. You know. Who were some of your biggest influences or role models in your early years?
Man, really, man, my pops, man. It's like I looked at my dad like he was Superman, dog. I mean, he was everything. Between him and my mom, my mom had like 3, 4, 5 jobs at the same time. Between being a nurse manager, and then she kind of grew in the healthcare field, and then she was a real estate agent. I mean, she was just an all around hustler. And then my father, man, he was my dad was a 5'8" point guard that could dunk.
5'8" point guard. Wow.
But man, cold. And would never let me dunk on him. Let me tell you, he was definitely willing to break my back to make sure that I didn't do nothing. But I mean, for real, like, my parents were my role models. But it was so much happening in Birmingham when I was growing up. So you saw a lot of people, and one of the people that really had a positive impact was Mayor Richard Arrington. Richard Arrington, he was one of the most famous mayors in Birmingham, and he did so much to just bring positivity to the area. I mean, as far as redevelopment,
right.
Just positive investment into the community that was just really suffering during the time of the crack epidemic,
right.
Loss of investment. You had white flight where people were leaving the city. So you had all these things happening, and he had to try to keep our city together. And you saw him just kind of as this beacon and this leader that kind of guided us, through a really rough time in our history. And I say us, I mean Birmingham. So between him and then going back and forth to Detroit, of course I saw Coleman Young. And it's funny now. I saw Kwame Kilpatrick. I don't know if you remember Kwame Kilpatrick.
No, I can't say that I do.
All right, so he was actually he was the youngest mayor of Detroit.
Okay.
I can't remember how young he was when he actually got elected, but man, he was just such a forward thinker. Okay. Now it's funny because he ended up in prison in 2014. But I watched it. I was actually in a Zoom call with him last week, and he talked about something that just really resonated with me. And he was like, my character was not ready for my growth.
Wow. Yeah, see that's
because because it's something that you don't really think about, because it's like one of those things that is like we always want that extra responsibility. We always want that extra money. We always want a lot, but what comes with it? You understand? It's like, do you have the character to handle it when it comes to you? Can you still be that man 10 toes down,
right.
that you claim you are,
right.
would you have more power, influence, and money, right?
That's true.
And he was, I mean, just imagine being a 28, 30-year-old in charge of Detroit.
Right.
I mean, can you imagine that? That is insane to even think about. Like, I mean, that was like when Detroit was popping. This was like 2004. I was like, man, come on. But just hearing about his story and hearing him talk about about where he is now, I mean, it was such a good story of redemption. Like he talks about, it's funny because he talks about his prison time like it was a necessary component in his spiritual development.
Right.
I don't want none of that part. but I'll take his lesson learned and try to go from there, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
That's great. What inspired you, to get involved into politics? Though, what really inspired you?
Well, I mean, I always wanted to find a way, right? Mm-hmm. And, when I say the stuff about, Richard Arrington, my mom actually had a couple friends that were tied to politics in Birmingham. And I was always curious about it. And I had dreams of being the mayor of Birmingham at some point. But once life happened, it's like, all right, now you have to deal with your reality.
Right.
And it was like, I ain't in Birmingham. I'm not growing with Birmingham. Now I'm at the time, like when I actually left the Army. So just kind of rewind just a little bit.
Okay.
So I actually went to the United States Military Academy after I graduated high school. So go to West Point, graduate, do a little time in the Army. Unfortunately, I got diagnosed with a heart disease. So I actually have a defibrillator implanted in my chest.
Wow.
And so I got medically disqualified to be in the Army. So honestly, if that doesn't happen, I mean, I'm definitely not here because I would have done my 20. And I mean, shoot, because the Army was it's the easiest job on earth. But it was a dope job just being tied to a team. And I mean, I definitely missed the camaraderie in the military. But so go there, then leave the military. Now I'm trying to find a profession. I was like, my 2 degrees, I got my undergraduate degrees, double major, economics and systems engineering. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, all right, how do I use these in the real world? I always thought about being a consultant, doing lean manufacturing, Six Sigma type things. And so I was supposed to be working in the manufacturing world. So I go do that. End up spending some time in the automotive industry. Then Katrina hit, took all the training money. And I'm like, I don't want to do this if I don't have all my certifications. Got some of them, not all of them. Didn't really get a chance to apply it. So I ended up in project management. So project management takes me all over the country in North America. Well, I lived in Canada for like 5 years before I ended up here. So I land here. Right. Are you familiar with the LNG plant over Cove Point, the natural gas?
Yeah.
All right, so I was actually planning director on that project. Right. So I took that job because my boys were in Virginia. My oldest 2 boys were living in Virginia, so I'm trying to come down here. Now, I'm just trying to tell you about my path.
Okay, that's fine.
So now, when I ended up in Texas, well, in Birmingham. I'm in Birmingham, so I started working with my mom's friend, Booker Washington. Anytime I can get my hands on doing things in the community, he was introducing me to people in Birmingham, and I started trying to help with outreach there. I was only there for a short period of time, then I go to Texas. I'm doing the same types of things. I'm in LaGrange. I'm doing my outreach type thing. I'm AAU coaching, working with the kids, doing the renting the gym like my dad did, and working with some of the leaders in the community to make sure some of the kids in LaGrange can get up out of there. Because man, you talk about, how we look at some of the kids just kind of not having any options here. Right. Imagine being in LaGrange, like you're in between Austin, Houston, College Station. It's nothing for hours in each direction. It's nothing. You don't even got the water. Wow. Like at least we got the luxury of being on a peninsula and it's beautiful down here. Imagine putting this in the desert.
And then like the middle of nowhere.
And I'm telling you, it's just a power plant and like a lot of small oil rigs and exotic ranches.
Wow.
Yeah.
Exotic ranches, yeah.
Yeah, so you get to ride down the street, you might see a zebra. It's weird. But I ended up in Houston, and so I volunteered down at Sheila Jackson Lee's office.
Okay.
So she came to my church, and this is my first experience of having a politician come to a church. I thought she was a member of the church.
Right.
And so she came up there, she does a little speech, and she inspires everybody clapping and everything. So I'm thinking that she's a member because of her interaction. She stays for the whole service, and I go talk to her because you don't see a lot of Adventists in politics. So I'm like, hey, I don't understand how you do all this stuff in politics and still maintain the Sabbath. I need you to help me out. And she was like, here's my card. Right. Find out later, she don't go to the church. She just coming down there to get some votes. But whatever. Right. But that was my key in. So right. I go to the office, and her chief of staff just kind of assigns me to things in the community. So I'm just starting to work there in Houston for the little time I was there. But I'm like, man, this would be awesome if this was like my regular job. Now, at that time I had kids to feed, so I couldn't be a public servant. So I still had to maintain my job. So I ended up doing the whole run through Canada, and I ended up here. So this was the first place I lived for longer than 22 months after graduation. And so when I realized I was going to stay here, and that was a whole nother thing, I ended up divorced down here, and I'm driving over to Cove Point one day, and God just came to me and told me, hey, you need to stay here. At that point, I was volunteering with the NAACP. I had no plans of staying in the area. I was actually supposed to be going to Houston and then doing a job on the West Coast. But when God tells you to do something, you can ignore him, but you end up in a big fish and spit back in the same direction.
That's true.
So true. I decided I was just gonna stay. And the crazy part, man, I'm telling you, man, that I tell my story a lot of times, and it's like, when people start talking to religious stuff, a lot of times it sounds like BS. I'll be honest. It's like, I don't know you. It's like, whatever. But my story is a story of him putting provision before me because he told me to do something.
Right.
I didn't look for a job to stay here, dog.
Right.
I'm sitting here like, I'm gonna stay here. I happen to be working out with a guy that I invited to an NAACP event, and then we chopping it up at the NAACP event. My contract is up in at that point 6 months. And I'm talking to him, and I'm like, yeah. I was like, I think I want to stay. He was like, what you do? No, I asked him what he did, because we talked about everything, because we work out at the gym, but you ain't talking about your resume at the gym.
Right.
So he's like, you never heard of what I do. I'm like, try me. And he says, project scheduling. It was like I was telling you, project scheduling. So now I'm sitting there, I'm like, matter of fact, I'm very familiar. That's how I entered in project management. Right. It was like, I got all my certs. I know how to use XYZ database. He was like, well, happened to be, we're looking for somebody. I was in an interview the next week. Right. I got hired. They said, you can't come over, and they said, we don't have the position until the end of March. Our stuff ended in April. So all the timing, I was like, I ain't even look. Job right there for me. Right. It's just, everything just laid out. And then after I get the job down here, all of a sudden I have a conversation with my boys' moms, and next thing you know, I got my boys down here. Right. So now we a family down here. Now we really putting roots in. That's great. Man. Bought a house. Next thing you know, I got two boys at Great Meals. I'm like, and I'm the president of NAACP here. I'm like, oh my God, I got a new home. This ain't Birmingham, but this feel like home. And so with working in the community, when you actually want to impact change in your community, you have to have relationships with those people that make these laws. That's true. So we talk about the people that make the decisions for development, for getting the money for the YMCA, for the people that make the decisions,
Right.
that control all the public resources that we have here in the area. If you don't know those people, then you have no way of actually influencing the decisions that they make.
That's true.
And so once I actually started pushing to get to know them, then it was like, okay, one, I was like, they ain't nobody special. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and it's not to insult anybody, but it's like, it's one of those things where you realize they just like me and you.
Exactly.
They citizens that took a chance and went out there and exposed themselves to a lot of scrutiny, to sacrifice, to do something for the greater good. Yeah. Some of them, maybe somebody did something for the wrong reason, but I think anybody who actually made that choice, especially at the local level, right. I was like, I don't care what decision they end up making or how the system actually impacted them and they handled it one way or the other. If you make the decision to do that at the local level, man, you care about this community in a way most people don't. Right. And because I mean, the way people in my business, man, bruh, let me tell you.
Yeah. Basically open book. Yeah.
It's super uncomfortable, but
right.
But I'm happy that people took time to like kind of expose me to a lot of things that are happening. I've built relationships over the past 5 years, five to 6 years. It's been awesome, and I view myself as a connector. Right. And I think that I'm a creative thinker, and I think that we're missing out on opportunities that are available to us for a short window of time. And I think if somebody doesn't come out here and start being creative, we're gonna miss out on a lot of things that are available. We're living in a technology corridor, right, with no evidence of technology around us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like we got all this UAV technology, but you can't even tell that's where we are. We are in the heart of it.
Right.
Like the third building that they have over there, man, do you know what we could be doing?
That's true.
We got that little airport over there. Do you know what we could be doing? Bruh, yeah. I mean, it just takes somebody. And none of this stuff is easy. Right. And none of that stuff is, and having a creative idea is real cute until you got to work. And so, I mean, good part about it is I ain't afraid of that either.
Yeah, put in the work, man. You definitely put in the work. You
need to start giving me these big questions that make me ramble too much, man. I feel like a chatty patty right now.
Man. That's what it's all about. Sharing my platform.
Okay.
Yeah, what do you believe makes our community unique, and how do you plan to protect it?
I've never been in a community that had this much preserved history. It's so many people that are tied to folk that got off the boat, one boat or the other. So, I mean, it's kind of crazy because it's, and I'm a bit of a historian. So, like, I'm actually on the Historic St. Mary's City Commission, and I got involved in that because of my love for history.
Right.
So, being introduced to the Matthias D'Souza story, you familiar with that one?
No. Yeah.
All right, so he's the first man of color to actually participate in the legislature in Maryland. That happened here in St. Mary's City. Denzel Washington actually played him in a play down at St. Mary's College. Shout out. If anybody, I actually did get my hands on his people a couple years back, and the timing just didn't work for something I was trying to do. But for the 400th, we probably need to get a group together to try to get Denzel down here to do that play again. Because I bet you he'd be interested in doing something like that for the 400th to celebrate a first in America, a first in Maryland. So,
shout out to Denzel Washington. If anybody out there that can make that happen, please reach out to us, man. Please. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, but for sure. But I mean, when I was door knocking, just give you one example, which was wild. So like, one of the best things about running for office is like going out knocking on doors and actually interacting with people out in the community, right? So one of the guys I knocked on his door in Leonardtown. I'm knocking on his door, and we're having a conversation, and he tells me that he's related to the first woman to give property to an African deed over property to an African American in the state, and it tells me about the court case and all this other stuff. So it was such a interesting nugget,
Right.
that was pulled out of nowhere, just having a regular conversation with somebody who was tied to, such a significant first.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if you go down to the historical the historic society up in Leonardtown, man, the records up there are crazy.
Right.
I went up there. I actually recorded a podcast with one of them, with their archivist, whatever that word is. We went through, and she walked through all of these records, and it was cool just kind of seeing some of the names, some of the last names that you're familiar with. Some like the Dickersons, and you know what I'm saying. So these are names of people that that you're very familiar with, the Butlers, and you know what I'm saying. So you see all these family names, and you see them on these slave rolls. You see them on on all this documentation, and you just see all that history right there. And man, I could spend hours in there, bruh. And it's just dope because I'm not used to seeing pockets of families this big in one spot. Like my family, man, we were like that down in Middle Georgia. My family was in Montezuma, Georgia, and then ended up in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, and then it was like hit the wind. You understand? So you had some in Pittsburgh, some in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? The Great Migration really impacted my family in a way that just dispersed us throughout the country.
Right.
So seeing the families preserved in the way that they are down here, it adds to the culture. And it's even though you see these different pockets, these different groups, these self-segmented groups all over the county, it's kind of cool because you see all these different cultures. You know what I'm saying? Because you see South County ain't nothing like the 7th District. 7th District ain't nothing like the Park. Park ain't nothing like Charlotte Hall. And Charlotte Hall, it ain't nothing like Mechanicsville and Oakville. And it's just like, man, it's almost like you've taken a trip around a whole different country, riding around St. Mary's County. These people are alike and different at the same time, and it's really dope to just experience that. And the funny part is, it's like that's not even a black-white thing. It was like you can look at the black people in those spots, and you can look at the white people in those spots. They don't look none alike either. So it's one of those things where you get exposed to multiple cultures and right across the street from each other. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So this is a county that's really rich with history and culture, man.
That's good. That's good, man. How would you plan to make sure all voices in our community are heard, even the little ones?
Well, shoot, man, I'm a little voice myself.
No, you a big dog, man.
Man, I'm on the big dog because you say so.
Yeah.
No, for real. I mean, for real. I mean, it's like I said, man. All the people that are in these spots, they regular folk just like me and you.
That's true.
Right? So my thing is, I got to keep doing what I've always been doing, reaching out to folk, asking questions. Because being that I'm not from here, I'm in a unique position where I gotta ask. I can't even assume I know, because I don't. And so I have to ask. And so, and to ensure that people are heard, well, I got to go talk to them, and that's what I do on a regular basis. So that's one of the reasons why I started a podcast. It was like, hey, let's figure out, you know what I'm saying? Well, one, I was finding out about resources that people didn't know about, restaurants people didn't know about, cool stuff to do that people didn't know about. And I'm just sitting there, I'm talking to people that are from here. They be like, man, where that restaurant at? Like, oh, shoot, you don't know? Oh, man, that's my homeboy. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. And so, that's why like people see me posting that stuff. It's just because it's like I realize that one, a lot of us spend a lot of money to go up the road to do everything.
That's true.
And then we miss out on a lot of hidden gems that are down here.
That's true.
And so it's one of those things where I try to communicate that stuff to people. Now there was also some things that say for instance there was actually grant money that came down from the state. Okay. So they had this thing called Project Restore. And what they were doing was trying to make sure that locations that have been vacant for more than 6 months, people had resources to actually lease those out. So they gave them lease money for 12 or 24 months, help you get on your feet as a small business, get your footing behind you, and there were some other tax breaks that they gave you as well. And what we ended up doing, I reached out to the SBDC, reached out to Commerce, reached out to a couple of real estate agents, and brought all those resources in. We actually held this at Antoinette Garden. We had about 20 to 25 entrepreneurs in there with those resources in there, being exposed to, getting an understanding of what they needed to do to actually take advantage of that resource. And so the cool part about it was when you actually saw the numbers play out, we had more people win the award in this county than you had in some of the larger counties because we went out of our way as a community and made sure that people were exposed to these resources. So I'm actually happy that type of thing happened, and I wish that our county was doing more things like that, and they should be a lot more proactive when it comes to connecting us to those types of resources, especially on the economic development side. I'm like, hey, that should be your job.
Exactly.
I'm doing this in my spare time.
Exactly. Yeah, what can be done to create more opportunities for youth-like mentorships like training and sports?
Well, shoot, man, I honestly, I think we got enough sports. I think the crazy part about it is there are a lot of professional opportunities out here, but the people that are from here usually aren't connected to those opportunities. So what you end up seeing, some of those internships is people that work on base, their kids get brought into it, and it's not an active outreach program to make sure that kids that are from here get attached to those programs. Right. The crazy part is the companies here should be more proactive in doing that because the people that are from here are more likely to stay here than a lot of those more transient groups, right? So like if one of the people that work on the base, they head up out of here, if their parents leave, then they're likely to leave, or they're going to leave for college and they might not come back because they don't have the same attachment to the area. Right. But if you actually make sure that you're working with people that have families here, working with people that are actually from the community,
that's true.
Then now your attrition rate goes down a little bit more, and that's just more beneficial to everybody involved. It increases our tax base here. It gives more people jobs. You know what I'm saying? It's just and the companies are searching for people a lot less. I'm like, that's a win-win-win.
That's true.
So, but I just think that a lot of people just need outreach programs that are really focused on getting into these communities.
That's good, man. How do you plan to build stronger relationships between law enforcement and residents?
Well, shoot, man. I think we are working on stuff like that right now. You know Kenny Parnell?
Yes, I do.
All right, so Kenny has a flag football league, and I
shout out to Kenny Parnell. Excuse me.
Hey, for sure. Yeah. Hey, and the St. Mary's Flag Football League.
Yeah, it's a good thing the community is doing.
Yeah, so I've been working with him, and he's got an amazing league. 5 years, no incidents. It's like every time you have that group of guys together, guys from the age of 18 to 30, people assume that there's going to be some nonsense. We had not had any nonsense 5 years running, none of it. And the crazy part about it is if you actually knew who was out there, you would assume there was some nonsense, but there has not been any, and that's just a testament to the leader that he is, and the influence that he has on some of these young men out here. The cool part about it is what we started this summer. We actually had a flag football game, with the first responders and the sheriff department.
Oh,
we actually
great.
had the sheriff out there, health department out there, and some other people. But they were actually playing with the guys from the league. So we had the flag football all-stars against the first responders and the sheriff department. And so it was actually a pretty cool event. And shout out to BJ Doc. He helped us actually do it at Great Mills High School. So he allowed us to use the facility. Well, I'm saying he allowed us. He charged the hell out of me, but but he did fast track the application. I'm gonna ask for that discount next year, man.
Yeah.
Can a brother get a little break? And it is a non-profit. I ain't making no money.
Yeah.
But it was a really cool event,
Right.
and I think continuing this and encouraging more the kids, more the young men and women that are from here to join the sheriff department, join the first responders. So it like one of the things is like we got Grant and Hudson. So Julian Grant Jr., Pat Hudson, both of those are sheriffs, and they grew up with a lot of these guys. So it's one of those things where now you're incorporating somebody from that community that knows a lot of these guys that are involved in a lot of the nonsense. It's a little different when it comes from somebody you're familiar with. Mm-hmm. You know, if Steve Hall comes out and talks to these boys, you know, that's that's OG, whatever. Mm-hmm. But if it's Pat, you know what I'm saying? I partied with Pat. I went to high school with Pat. You know, I'm more likely to kind of have a conversation with him and actually lean on an existing relationship. I think is more important. I get in trouble about this all the time because I always say we need to drink, we need to go do sports, we need to do things that are not tied to work, because that's when that informal bond is created, and that's when the real relationship grows, right? If I see you at work, you know what I'm saying, you an associate. You know what I'm saying? Like you not. It's like if I said that with the NAACP all the time. Like I used to always want to go out. I'm like, let's hit a bar, let's hit a happy hour, let's sit here and chop it up, because it's important that you know me for real. Right. Not just how I work.
If I known that, man, I had a couple bottles on the table. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Hey,
but maybe on the next one.
Oh no, I know this just dry November. I just finished sober October.
Sober October, dry November. Okay.
I can't be out here running for office and y'all mess around. Y'all see.
With you, man.
But we do have a First Friday coming out, man. So I don't know if this comes out this week or next week or whatever. Mm-hmm. But on Friday, the Bros, we having a First Friday at Call Sign. Okay. So we're trying to get something going so we can have like a professional happy hour once a month. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to grow it into something. We got some ideas of like putting some fun elements to it. Mm-hmm. But before we start doing all that, we want to actually get a following. So we were starting to grow a little bit at SIP, but you know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, you know, we don't have that resource anymore, but I know Jonathan's going to come back with something crazy, so we'll be supporting that next time.
Shout out to Jonathan Boss.
Yeah, his next venture, we're going to be on that too.
Oh, so, yeah.
But no, we'll be out there, so if you want to come get a drink with us.
We'll do.
Come on.
So where do you see our community in the next 5 or 10 years?
I think there's an opportunity here, right? You have all these data centers coming in. You have a lot of AI taking. I think that we have a lot of smart people that could come up with a lot of smart ideas, and a lot of these smart ideas need a home. The question is like, do we have somebody on our team that's willing to go out and recruit to get the right partners in place so we can actually bring some good resources down here? I'm not saying bring a data center down here, so if somebody want to try to hit me up like, oh, he's trying to get our electric bills higher, That's not what I'm saying. but considering that AI is an inevitability.
It is.
It is an inevitability. It is coming if you want it or not. We are giving our stuff away to the machines. The question is, how can we benefit from it here? How can we partner with somebody? Because we have the resources. We got the brain power. Man, we could be at the front edge. It's something really unique. So hopefully we have people that are fighting for us to make that happen. I know a lot of the people from the base. There's a guy named Rick Tarr that he's tied to this thing called tech. Man, I can't remember off the top of my head. But what it is it's actually a resource that is supposed to help people take advantage of technology that's available to the military and figure out some civilian uses for it, and vice versa. So it's like a knowledge exchange, and they want people to make money off of it. So it's just it's a way of, if we get some smart people in the right rooms, how can we monetize a lot of that stuff and help the economy grow here?
That's true. What's one lasting change you hope to make if elected?
You know what I want to do? I want regular people to understand that they can actually run it and do something positive in the area. I think a lot of people like you keep, you the big man. This, like, dog. Get your friends together.
Right.
Like, I mean, if you realize, think about this, right? In the primary, how many people voted in the primary for 29B in 2022? Do you know?
I don't know.
Not 6,000.
Not even 6,000.
No. So think about this. If you look at your friends,
Okay.
the people that you think you know 1,000 people here?
Probably no. No, I don't.
You're lying.
I don't know.
You probably cut 1,000 heads. I mean,
Put it this way, I know of 1,000.
But the thing about it is,
personally,
more than that amount of people know you just because of who you are.
Right.
It's like, all right, that's good for them. Okay.
Right.
So they looking at you like, hey, okay. Oh, he running. Oh man, that's a good dude. Let me support him. And then the thing is, you got a podcast now. You got this place. You know what I'm saying? This is a way that you can easily just jump out into the arena and be like, you know what? I'm gonna create a platform. I'm gonna do something positive, and I want more people to have that line of thinking, because that's all you got to do is just put your mind to it, figure out who you need to talk to, and get started. So many of us could be doing that, and I just want more people to get engaged instead of just jumping on Facebook and talking shit. Excuse my language.
No, you're good. That's true. You gotta actually do the footwork, the groundwork, and get out here instead of just talking. You have to put that action to it, man. That's good. How do you want people to remember you? I'm sorry. How do you want people to remember your time in office?
I want people to remember me like I remember Richard Arrington.
Right.
I remember he was a man of the people that really cared about his community. And the thing about it is, it's like a lot of people think about me that way now, minus the whole Republican thing. But I want people to understand that community is always at the forefront of my mind. I don't do anything for BJ at all. I only care about what can be positive for this community. It's like, and if people remember me like that, that'd be dope.
Sure.
Yeah.
Y'all heard it here first. BJ Hall tells it all. Shout out to Vincent Chapman, Saugus Media, making this all possible, man. Oh, and please like, share, comment, and subscribe, man, as y'all coming in. Thanks a lot, so I can continue to bring y'all content like this.